Alright, so where we left off last time was in Flan, and you guys had been scouring for information all over the town. You had met quite a few people along the way. You know that the lighthouse has been out for several days, and Eigen Sokol is the steward that is at the castle at Socle Keep over on the island. And you've basically met a couple of the dock workers in the tavern. You met a couple of the patrons inside of the tavern that actually knew a Sergeant Grimm Thornbuck. He's the resident sergeant that's on duty on the island and has been for several months. You've heard all these stories about the island being spooky and loaded with treasure under the ruins of the castle, because as you guys look across the Moon Sea there, the little gap of water, it's just a couple hundred yards, you can actually see that half of the castle's in ruin, and the other half has kind of been redone over the past 10, 20 years as the Sokles have owned it. So then there was you found out through the I believe it was one of you found out through your agent. I believe you had a conversation, and then let's see, there was
two of us, but I don't remember who the other one was.
Yeah, you talked to Sergeant Hearn, I believe it was, and also Lila from the House Socle administration. She sent you to Sergeant Hearn. Hearn has then in turn given you a pass to see Karst the ferryman. So the Karst the ferryman, you guys were, I believe that's where you guys were heading to. So that's where we'll pick up. And that's your recap for the week. Thanks.
Thanks, Dave.
Nice recap.
No problem.
Get inspiration for that, Dave.
In fact, I'm going to take everybody's inspiration for that, because I'm going to... No, I'm just kidding.
I don't have any.
Alright, guys. So you guys are still in Flan. I guess you guys are headed to the... Well, you're already in the docks area. Was there anything else you guys wanted to do while you're in Flan? Because there really was no downtime, so there's no discussion on, what you did with your 4 days of downtime that you got last time. But, yeah. In the docks area, nice, beautiful morning. The seagulls are out. There's a couple schools of fish out in the bay that the seagulls are going down and attacking.
I believe we had a little bit of time just before we had to go and see the ferryman, so a couple of us, I think, were nipping off and pick up a couple of potions, and I was going to just quickly pick a couple of things up from my room in the tavern.
Sure. Yeah, just go ahead and deduct it off of deduct the money off of your sheet and add it on. No problem at all.
Yeah, we went back to the tavern because we talked to the Harpers.
Yeah, you had talked to Alyssara, I believe. She wanted to find some type. Yep. She wanted to find some kind of any kind of journals that would aid the Harpers, and plus there's been these attacks that have been happening along the coast of the Moon Sea. These pirates have been attacking, so that is the reason for the Sergeant Grimm and his guard detail being on the island. All right, guys, what do you guys want to do?
I go pick up a couple extra healing potions before we head to the island as well.
Thank you, Muted. I appreciate the host. Thank you, Muted.
Being a Harper agent myself, I'm assuming that perhaps I could talk to them about knowing what to look for in these journals.
Yeah, it was just we touched base on that last week, so yeah, you guys anybody remember what you guys are supposed to be looking for? Anyone? Let's see if anybody was
the thing was that we were looking for Eigen's journal. Well, I guess I'm not part of the Harpers, so I didn't know, but I did take notes if you need.
Yeah, Ulsara wanted us to find the Eigen's journal, also wanted us to recover any arcane knowledge about the keep that we could find, and also relate any information about the sergeant, what's his name, Grimm?
to the Harpers.
Very nice. Very nice. I'll give a couple of you guys inspiration for that. There you go. Very good.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. All right. So you guys are leaving the tavern and heading to the docks. Are you looking for this Karst, the ferryman? Or
Yeah,
you
let's
guys
keep an eye
could
out
also, if you guys want to. I mean, there's, if you guys want to go the more inconspicuous route, I mean, there are other alternatives to getting across the Thorn Island. As you look across, I mean, it's only, you figure it would only take you a couple hours to swim, maybe. It's like 300 feet. Only 300 feet, but the current is so bad in this area.
We've got. I think there's no reason to be stealthy at this point. We're just going over to investigate. We don't have any suspicion of anything afraid going afoot. So there's no. I don't think any reason not to get the ferry across. Why get my armor wet?
Well, yeah, that's true.
We went
also
through.
sink to the bottom.
We went through too much trouble trying to get permission in the first place.
Yep. All right. So as you guys are heading down to the docks, you have several other ferrymen offering their boats to you. And one gentleman, he says, "Hey, would you like to borrow my boat, mates? It's only going to cost you 5 gold, and it'll cost you 25 gold as a deposit in case you smash the thing against the rocks on the island."
What's your name, good friend?
Their name's Carl. And he's got one eye and a hat. "My name's Carl, mate."
Do you know a gentleman called Kirst? That's
Yeah, the miserable old
there is?
man, Karst. Yeah, he's here. He's one of the ferrymen. He's been doing this ever since I've been around. I think he's been doing it for 40 years or so. He's a miserable old goat, though, mate.
Unfortunately, we need to ask him a few questions. Can you direct us to whereabouts he is? Which boat he is in?
I mate. He's a couple of the docks over, and he kind of points in a general direction.
Thank you very much. And flipping a couple of silver.
Aye, thanks, mate. My English accent is just absolutely horrible. I think it sounds probably more Australian.
I say it sounds Australian.
It's qualified. All right, so you guys heading over to the ferryman Karst.
Yeah, we're going to try and find him.
All right. So as you come up to his area on the dock, it has a sign out there that says, ferryman for hire, and it says must pay up front. You cannot pay later. So he, as you walk up, this old guy, he probably looks to be in his 60s or so. He's definitely looks worn by the sun. He's got a huge white beard, very skinny guy. And he says, "Who are you? Are you wanting to rent a ferry? Where are you needing to go? Just don't waste my time, all right?"
We're looking to go across the Thorn Island. Is it Kirst I am speaking to?
The one and only.
Yes,
the best sailor on the Moon Sea. At
we've
your
been sent
service.
by Sergeant Hearn to
Great,
find you.
another freebie.
Ferry us across to the island.
All right. Let me see your documentation you've got there. And then he starts to mumble on how, well, this is another wasted day. Guy sounds miserable, man. Oh, he sounds so
Just out of
miserable.
curiosity, how much does he charge?
Well, it's gonna be about a 20 gold trip. It depends. It depends on how much you want me to wait, how long you want me to wait, or if you want me to come back. There's all kinds of prices involved when you're dealing with seafaring adventures. But you've chose the right boat. Because my boat will get you there. She'll set you there. She'll get you there safe. We'll miss those rocks.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
So what is the ferry across, and how much is it per hour for you to wait?
Well, it's free to get you over there. Seeing that you have your documentation, it's totally free. If the old sergeant over there, Sergeant Hearn, sent you, that's official Flan business, and therefore I'm basically being paid by the town of Flan. Although it is peanuts compared to what I usually charge, but in times like these, you really don't have a choice, do you? All right, so where are you going? You going to... Where are you going? You going across to the island over there, Sokol?
Yep, that's where we're headed.
If you take us to island and we get
Goddamn
there without
feedback.
incident, I'll give you your full fee of 20 gold.
Whoa, well, hey there. Hey, I'll wait for you. Well, in fact, or I could just come back and meet you. Yeah, that's good. That's I appreciate it. Times have been bad, and I'm telling you that it'll be the best 20 gold you ever spent. So go ahead and hop on into the boat.
Climb on
Watch
board.
your arms, watch your legs. The sharks are feisty. I'm just kidding. There's really no sharks in the Moon Sea. None that I've seen anyway for the last 40 or 50 years. I think they were all fished out. Well, you guys are a tough crowd tonight. Anyways, hop on in and we'll go across.
I'm gonna hop on in. Anyone up for some sailing tunes?
What sort of tune do you have in mind?
As long as you're not playing the spoons, that's fine.
Oh, but I want to hear the spoons.
As I like pulling the spoons out of my pocket. How about a run to row your boat?
You named a song after my boat? And you kind of, as you're boarding this, as you're boarding the ship, it says, row, row, row your boat. That's the name of the boat. Seriously.
Well, yes, as a chance would have it.
That's been her name for ever since that I bought her. She's
So it's row, row, row your boat gently across the bay.
row, row, row your boat gently across the bay. That's it. Gently across the sea. But we're not leaving the
But we're
bay,
not going to
so
sea.
we don't have to
Exactly.
worry about it.
We just
Yeah.
won't go across the bay, not across the sea, just the bay.
She's
That's fine.
pretty feisty. The bay is pretty feisty. There's been a lot of ships that's been lost. I don't know. These knuckleheads think that anybody can just go ahead and get into a boat and drive her and steer her, and you're going to end up from point A to point B. But there's a lot more navigation that's required. And of course, the old guy here. I'm a pro, and I've been doing it for 40 years, and I'm the best here in Flan. All right, let's get going. Throw that rope onto the dock. Let's get going, mates.
Just one more question.
Sure.
We've heard tell that this island with the lighthouse may be haunted. What do you know about that?
Yeah, those are just little kid stories, I would think. Yeah. What have you heard? As he's starting to throw off of the ropes on. He's got one of his little seamen there helping him, and his name is Krusty. And he says, "Come on, Krusty, let's get the sail up." And he says, "Okay, I'm getting the sail up, boss." he's putting the sail up, man. Old Krusty.
We've heard that there's a restless spirit on the island.
Well, I don't know about that. I've never been on the island. I'm not privileged enough. I've made plenty of journeys over to the docks there, but I've never been on the island. So the only thing that I've heard are these tales of, as adventurers before the Sokols got this place. Several adventurers had gone over there and couldn't find anything. So I don't know. I think it's all hogwash. I don't believe in that stuff. But I know that I know that there's been some danger on the Moon Sea lately with all of these attacks across the coast. I figured that's what you go. What are you guys going over there to treasure hunt, or are you going over to see Eigen, or what?
Try and work out what's wrong with this lighthouse. See if we can find Argon or Sergeant Grimm,
Okay.
or either of the two caretakers, Darvig or Sandra. Try and find out why the light's not working, because it's dangerous that people could crash into the rocks.
Well, darn,
So
you're darn tootin'. It's hurting my business. Because
Exactly,
usually
so,
when supplies would want to be delivered over to the keep, guess who takes care of that? That's right, yours truly, good old Karst.
So we've been asked to go over and investigate what's the problem is in the lighthouse this evening.
Well, I know that it's been out for several days, and I figured that Eigen probably would have got it going, or at least had somebody. Are you guys going over to fix it? Are you the engineers that's going to fix it?
I think we're just kind of trying to investigate what the problem is.
What
so
the
we
hell?
can,
Where the
right
hell's
people
that
to
dog?
fix it.
Is there a dog on this boat? There's no dogs allowed on this boat. Where's it at?
It must be from the shoreline. The kind of light mist of the evening kind of helps carry the noise.
I might be hearing stuff. I just don't know. But I know Darvig and his wife Chandra and their little kid Roaring Collins. They call him RC though. That kid, I tell you, you got to look out for that kid. But Darvig and Chandra, they're nice folks. Yeah, they're really nice. They've been over there for quite a few years. But as for as for those stories, I will tell you that my grandmother used to tell me that it was full of spirits, but like I said, they're just children's stories of all these dead clerics and whatnot. I don't know. I don't even think there's it's not even a temple. It's just a castle. So you said Sergeant Grimm, and you guys are sailing across, by the way, towards the island, and you guys are seems like you guys are traveling at a snail's pace because of the current. And old Krusty, he's just wailing away on those sails. He's getting tossed around. He almost gets tossed off the boat a couple times.
I'm playing the spoons the whole way.
I'm going to go ahead and put mage armor on myself.
Okay. How long does
While they're
mage
doing
armor
that-
last? An hour or something like
It's 8 hours.
that? 8 hours? Okay. Sounds good.
Marquez has been sitting to himself, just thinking, I got party members that are loose with their money. I got a boatman that's loose with his lips. Yeah, this is going to be a long trip.
Especially since that it's only been like 50 feet. You're like 50 feet from the dock, and you can hear that damn dog barking on the dock. It just keeps barking and wailing away. I heard somebody's dog barking. I had to throw that in there somehow. So what is your business going over there? You know, the old man's going to be kind of nosy. This is official business of the Flan Guard. So you're not going over there to fix the lighthouse.
To investigate what the problem is, so we can the town can determine the right course of action to fix it.
All right.
Whether it's a manpower issue or whether it's a technical issue. If it's manpower, we may be able to help while we're over there.
So you're the prefixers then. I got it. Boy,
Basically,
there's so
we've heard
much.
tell that whoever's over there can't get the job done, so they're sending some people who can.
Oh, okay. So you're the bureaucracy then. All right. Yeah, the Blackfists. There's 6 guards over there. I don't know why Sergeant Grimm and his guys haven't helped old Eigen fix it. And in fact, I don't even know why Eigen hasn't sent anybody over here to send someone back over to fix it. Boy, it's getting confusing to me over here.
That's why they're sending the elite squad in now to sort out the issue.
Well, I thought the Blackfist, I thought that detachment was their elite force here in Flan.
No.
It may be for Flan.
Oh, so
But
you
not
guys
outside of Flynn.
So you guys are some kind of adventurers, huh? Were you sailing the high seas? Were you fighting the Kraken? What were you doing before you came to Flan? Were you seafarers? Were you pirates? Your old buddy Karst wants to know.
Well, a bit of this and that. Most of us got together and formed a friendship while in flat. But we've all got different histories that have built our way to where we are now.
I was a bran muffin critic. I would go from end to end critiquing the bran muffins and doing write-ups on all of them.
You kind of look like that flyer that's been running around town called the Bathhouse Bandit. You kind of look like that guy a little bit.
You're the second person who said that. I don't understand this Bathhouse Bandit.
Marquez will kind of perk up at the mention of the Bathhouse Bandit, and there's a reward for him. Keep your eye out.
Yeah, if that reward goes up too high, I might have to hand you in if you look that similar.
So as you guys are traveling across the bay, it is rather windy out, although it is a beautiful day. Current's very strong. It's a couple points. Old Karst, him and his trusty seaman. They have a little bit of a problem fighting the current, but you guys eventually get there. Now, as you guys are, coming to this island, the prominent feature of the island is the keep. That's for sure. And it definitely doesn't look like it's in good shape. I mean, parts of it is. There's like a manor house, and then there's the castle itself. It's kind of in ruin. There's several towers that you can see, and then there's also the lighthouse as well. So there's you can see several structures pointing up towards the sky, and eventually you guys make it over to the island. Now, when you make it to the island, several people are waiting at the docks, and as the ferry gets closer to the docks, old Krusty and Karst, they throw the ropes, and Krusty, he says, "Ahoy there!" and he calls the guy Darvag. So 2 + 2. There's Darvag right there in front of you. His wife is with him, obviously. Darvag grabs the rope, ties it up onto the dock, and Darvag and his wife welcome you to Socle Keep.
I'll climb out the boat and shake his hand and goes, "Greetings. We see you're having issues with the lighthouse. Can you care to enlighten what the situation is?"
Well, yes. Actually, it seems we've got a bit of a problem here at House Socle, and it's nice to see that the gods and actually Sergeant Hearn. Glad to see that he's actually sent a detail over to find out what's going on. We've had the lighthouse out for a couple of days now, and young Master Eigen is nowhere to be found. And neither is the guard detail of Sergeant Grimm and his fine men.
Interesting.
Together?
They've all disappeared. It's almost quite disturbing. But we have a job to do, my wife and I, and we have to continue the chores of the keep. It's business as usual with us.
Where were they last spotted before they went noticed missing?
Actually, it was around, I would say, dinner time, and we had, young Eigen Socle had just had his dinner and said he was returning to his library, and I haven't seen him since. Once he went into his library, that was it. And we haven't seen him. This is the start of the third day now.
Where is his library located?
Oh, it's in the mansion, good sir.
Do you care to look at the group and ask if maybe perhaps we should get more acquainted with the island, if Darvag, Chandra, or RC would be willing to give us a tour of the island, maybe show us the key points.
I'm sure my son would probably like to do it. He's running around here somewhere. And then he turns to his wife and he says, Have you seen RC, Chandra? And she says, Oh yeah, he's playing up in the garden. He's up, probably tearing up the flowers again. I'm gonna have to replant them for the third time this week, probably. So Darvag, he asks if he could. Well, what was that? So he asks Darvag. Darvag asks you to see the orders from Sergeant Hearn, and he asks you if you've. He looks at everyone and he says, I see a bunch of weaponry, but I don't see any tools. Are you not the engineers to fix the tower?
I turn to the side and say, "Here, see, here's my tools. Here's my carpentry bag on my belt."
Oh, that's all the tools that you'll need, huh?
What's wrong with the lighthouse? You say it needs fixing. What's wrong? I take it you've been up there to try and light it.
It's just not working. It's not coming on at night. It's just not working. It's a magically imbued lighthouse. It should always work, but for some reason, it has just stopped working.
Have you tried relighting it?
I'm not going in that thing. No way. There's been a lot of things happening lately around here.
Has anyone else tried?
A lot of cups and plates and books being thrown all over the place. I'm not going in there. You are crazy. That's not on my job.
Thrown.
Oh, and it's been happening around the house. We went over to the lighthouse to try to check things out, and several things were being thrown all over the place viciously in there. So I ran out and tucked my tail between my legs, and I have not been back in there, and I don't plan on going back. But the same thing's been happening in the house as well, but not as bad. Just a few cups and plates falling off of the table or the chairs and breaking, and maybe a book being thrown on the floor, but nothing much.
I looked very disbelieving at Darvag and just said, "That's nonsense. What say you about this, Chandra?"
Oh, she says, "He's saying the truth. A lot of weird things have been happening since Master Eigen has disappeared."
So our choices are: do we go and check out his library first, where he was last seen, or last room to go into, or do we go and look at the lighthouse first and why it's not lighting up?
So he kind of nods over to his wife, and she, as you guys are getting off the boat, she hands you a key ring, and it has a bunch of keys to the mansion, and she tells you that these will open up all of the rooms throughout the entire mansion.
Excellent, thank you very much.
No problem.
Well, I'd like to get a look at Eigen's quarters, for starters.
Alright, so do you guys have anything else you want to talk with Darvag or Chandra about, or anything like that?
Well, it seems very odd that they keep talking about these odd things and just keep business as usual. If things are so odd that they keep, it just doesn't add up to me, I guess. So I'm very leery about most of the things they're talking about. Where's your boy? He can show you a few things.
There are some things that you could do that you guys just aren't thinking of at this moment in time.
Where do the guards?
Insight check.
Where do the guards normally station themselves?
The guards actually live in the lighthouse. There's 3 levels to the lighthouse, and then on the 4th level, that is where the light is itself.
I'm going to try and see whether this guy's been genuine with us and whether his wife's been genuine.
There you go.
Oh, you mean an inside check?
Just drop it in the tower for me. Oh yeah, flying colors. You think you almost have sympathy for him.